Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Diamond Chat, brought to you by Dr. Karen Kramer, your hometown dentist in Grafton and Elyria. Tim Elkhorn with AM 930 WEOL, Sean Bennett from the Chronicle Telegram. It's that time of the week. We love to talk high school baseball and softball, and Sean, the weather is cooperating this spring.
Yes, it's probably been the best spring season I've seen in a decade, and knock on wood that it continues. But yeah, especially with some big events coming up here, definitely want to see sunshine. If not sunshine, at least just dry.
Right.
Overcast weather's fine too, as long as we don't have that bad R word.
Yeah, aside from the rain this past weekend, that was a washout. But for the most part, we've been lucky. As you said, let's knock on wood. Well, let's also talk about our top three performers of the week in both baseball and softball. I'll start things off this week as far as baseball is concerned. And we'll start with a young man from North Ridgeville by the name of Ryan Calvert. Boy, did he do a job for Matt Poning's team on the mound this week. North Ridgeville beat two outstanding clubs in the Southwestern Conference in Lakewood and Amherst. Two very impressive wins. Ryan Calvert had a lot to do with both of those victories. First of all, in the ball game against Lakewood, Rangers against Rangers, North Ridgeville and Lakewood, Ryan Calvert threw a complete game shutout against the Lakewood Rangers. He only threw 92 pitches in 7 innings. Very efficient work. So great job in the ball game against Lakewood. Then he comes back against Amherst, and North Ridgeville had to rally with 4 runs in the top of the 7th to take a 9-8 lead. They bring Ryan Calvert in to pitch the bottom of the 7th, and he pitched a scoreless bottom of the 7th to get the save for North Ridgeville in that win. So outstanding performances from Ryan Calvert for North Ridgeville. So that's top performance number 1. Over in Amherst, boy, an interesting story for Matt Rossitano's Amherst Combat Club. They brought a young man up from the JV squad, Caleb McGee. He had not played varsity baseball all season long. They bring him up from the JV squad. What does he do? He hits .500 last week. He went 8 for 16, had a double, a home run, 6 RBIs. He scored 5 runs. I think he may hang around at the varsity level. Great job, Caleb McGee over at Amherst. Gets called up from the junior varsity squad, and hey, what do you know? He earned his keep at the varsity level. And then our third top performer on the baseball side, Elyria Catholic's Jack Laird. He turned in back-to-back performances on the mound last week for Bruce Lisicki's Elyria Catholic squad that were just outstanding. Back-to-back 1-0 shutout wins for Jack Laird on the mound. Complete game victories. The first one was a 1-0 win over the Amherst Comets. He struck out 10 in that ball game. Then he came back and he beat the Bay Rockets in a complete game victory. He gave up 1 run in that ball game, but it was unearned. So back-to-back games as far as not giving up any earned runs. In the game against Bay, he struck out 13. I had that game on WEOL. He was simply dominant against the Bay Rockets. And oh yes, he also hit the game-winning 2-run home run against Bay. So just an outstanding week for Jack Laird of Elyria Catholic. So again, the top 3 on the baseball side, Ryan Calvert of North Ridgeville, Caleb McGee of Amherst, and Jack Laird of Elyria Catholic. 3 terrific performances.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. On the softball side, top 3 performances of the week, and I'm thinking I might need to rename this as top 2 performances and Sydney Campbell of Keystone, because Sydney's been on her almost every week we've been doing the show, and again, last week we had her on because we had to. She threw a perfect game. She went out this week and threw 2 perfect games. Went 3-0.
She's unhittable.
Yes.
She's literally unhittable.
Went 3-0 with 2 perfect games this week. She also, on Tuesday night, set the Ohio high school record with her 52nd consecutive victory. 52. Wow. She hasn't lost since, I think, second week of her sophomore season. So just an incredible run she's been on. Great week, obviously. Allowed just 3 hits and no runs this week. Struck out 24, walked 0. She dropped her ERA to 0.16 for the season. Just an amazing season, just an amazing player. I would not want to step into the box and face Sydney Campbell. So obviously, congrats on a great week, and we'll just kind of keep her posted and see how she keeps going. It's kind of a pitcher theme this week. Our second top performer, Ashley Strauss of Firelands, who also I believe was a top performer last week as well. Went 4-0 this week with 41 strikeouts, averaging over double digits a game there. She reached 500 career strikeouts only midway through her junior season right now. Reached 500 career strikeouts Tuesday night during a 2-0 win over Brookside. So that's another just a great milestone for her. She's gunning for that school record there at Firelands. That's what she said in the preseason interview we did with her. So she's rolling. She improved to 11-3 for the season, and she also just gets it done at the plate as well. Had a double and 6 RBIs at the plate during this week as well. So Ashley Strauss, just another great pitching performance and overall performance. And then our third top performer, Brianna Rivas of Oberlin, another senior pitcher who also is great at the plate. She went 2-1, opened the week with a no-hitter against Brooklyn. So we had 2 perfect games from Keystone, a no-hitter from Brianna Rivas of Oberlin. So the Pack pitchers are definitely putting together some nice performances in the circle. Had 13 strikeouts against Brooklyn, had 13 strikeouts in a 5-3 loss to Brookside, and had 15 strikeouts in a big lopsided win against Lutheran West, which she also had a pair of hits, including a double and 3 RBIs. So she's averaged like 200 to 300 RBIs a season in the last couple of seasons. So she's also a big strikeout performer, and when I say big, I mean like the strikeouts are big. She's only about 5 foot tall, so she's power packed. She's a great weapon for them both ways in the pitching circle and at the plate. So another great week as well. So my top 3 performers: Sydney Campbell of Keystone, Ashley Strauss of Firelands, and Brianna Rivas of Oberlin.
And very well deserving. Well, we've talked about individual performances, so let's talk about teams. And again, a great big thank you goes out to our new sponsor, First Federal Savings of Lorain. Each and every week, they're going to sponsor a team of the week for both baseball and softball. So we'll start on the baseball side, our First Federal Savings of Lorain team of the week. Now, before I announce the team, a quick honorable mention. I have to do this because I talked about North Ridgeville, those 2 huge wins in the SWC against Lakewood and Amherst. Matt Ponning's team is playing very, very well, but they did have 1 loss last week. So I'm going to go with Keystone as the First Federal Savings of Lorain team of the week because Keystone did go unbeaten. Wildcats 4-0, and right now they are riding a 10-game winning streak. Bert Fitzgerald's team over at Keystone is playing very, very well. What is it with spring sports at Keystone between the baseball and the softball? So Keystone is my First Federal Savings of Lorain team of the week. Again, 4-0, playing very, very well, 10-game winning streak, and obviously they've got it rolling right now over at Keystone. So congratulations to the Wildcats, the First Federal Savings of Lorain team of the week on the baseball side. Sean, softball?
Yeah, and obviously it was a kind of an abbreviated week with the teams because we did have the weather knockout, the high school schedule on Friday and Saturday, and then Easter obviously was Sunday. So 3 of the 7 days were already kind of wiped out. But since you're giving out honorable mentions, I'll give out a couple too.
Okay.
We had 3 teams that went undefeated with multiple wins during the season. So kudos to obviously Keystone on the softball side, and Firelands both went undefeated as well. But my team of the week is going to be Amherst. Amherst just has been just clicking on all cylinders, since they basically lost that second game of the season down in Florida when they were on spring break. They have just been undefeated. They're undefeated in the Southwestern Conference. They improved to 15-1 overall and 12-0 in the SWC with a 3-0 win or 3-0 performance this week. They went in and had big wins over Westlake, North Ridgeville, and Lakewood. Outscored their opponents 35-1 in those 3 games. Including shutouts of North Ridgeville and Westlake, and a 19-1 5-inning win over Lakewood. So Amherst is just like on fire right now. So they are my First Federal Savings Lorain team of the week.
And very well deserving. Well, speaking of Amherst, let's move right on. We're going to talk Comet baseball. Have a lot of fun with this each and every week. Get a grip. Each and every week we talk to a baseball player or a softball player about their grip and how they throw a certain pitch. So Get a Grip this week is with Amherst. Kyle Dalzell went over to Amherst and he showed me. Now he's going to show you his changeup. Again, thankfully the changeup, so when I got behind the plate, I wasn't in fear. So let's check in with Kyle Dalzell of Amherst as this young Comet pitcher is going to show us his changeup in Get a Grip.
Hi, I'm Kyle Dalzell, and I go to Amherst High School, and I'm a senior, and I'm going to show you how to throw a changeup.
All right, Kyle, so show us the grip.
Right here, this is a circle change. Throw about like this.
Now, when you're holding that ball, you have a real tight grip on it, or is it kind of a loose grip?
About loose. Just want to be nice and loose with it.
All right. Now, if the changeup is working the way you want it to work as it comes in on the batter, what will it do?
Probably it'll drop a little bit. I'll have a little bit tail down on it.
Okay, so it's going to drop away from a right-hander and in on a left-hander?
No, actually it would drop down to the right a little bit on a left-handed batter and down in on a right-handed batter.
All right. All right, here we go. Let's do one more. Well, like I said, I'll stand behind the plate when the changeup is coming.
And I love that pitch, both softball and baseball. It's such a I mean, when you get on this level, these kids, play travel ball. They play a high level of baseball and softball. Those changeups were what they were kind of hoping for when they were about knee high, and
right.
That's the kind of ball they were thirsty for. Now they hate seeing a changeup because they've trained their mind and their body for those fastballs and those pitches with movement and things like that. And a changeup can just wreck a good hitter. So you go in and see one of the best teams, changeup pitchers really kind of like set them off and keep them off balance. So a good changeup pitcher is very hard to kind of hit against.
And Kyle mentioned the fact that it looks like a fastball.
Yeah.
So you obviously just throw those hitters completely off balance. So a nice job, Kyle, with get a grip. All right. One final thing before we close out this portion of Diamond Chat. A huge, and I mean a huge weekend in LaGrange and Wellington this weekend with the annual Priebus tournament, perhaps the premier softball tournament in the state of Ohio every spring. Yeah,
two of the best tournaments I've covered since I've been covering softball for 2 decades have been the Priebus Memorial, which obviously is our big local tournament, and the Wendy's Spring Classic.
Right.
Unfortunately, this year with the Easter being the late and this and all that, they're on the same weekend. So, normally I get to cover both because we have teams in both, but the teams locally obviously stayed with Priebus because that's the home tournament. And honestly, it's probably the number 1 tournament in high school as far as softball goes. But wow, the lineup.
You've got the notes here.
Yeah.
You're the softball guy.
Well, let's just kind of start with state-ranked teams. There are about 8 or 9 state-ranked teams over the 4 divisions taking part in this, and there are a lot of state-ranked versus state-ranked where you hope to see a matchup like that once or twice. If you go this weekend, you're going to see, I think, 6 of them. All are going to be in LaGrange where you're seeing state-ranked versus state-ranked. So if you go both days, Friday night, starting right off the rip, Massillon Perry, who's ranked number 4 in Division I, will take on Anthony Wayne, who's number 9 in the state in Division I. So 2 Division I teams, top 10 going at it. That's Friday at 5:45. Then the big one for us, the big one pretty much for everyone. Saturday morning at 10 a.m., Keystone, number 1 in Division II versus Warren Champion, number 1 in Division III.
Where will you hear that game?
That will be right on WL. It will be in the paper the next day. We're going to have that covered. That's number 1 versus number 1. That's what you ask for. You love to see. That's kind of like when boxers from 2 weight classes put both their belts up on the line.
Yep.
That's like champion versus champion. So that's going to be a great matchup as well. And then a couple other quick ones. Hans Springfield, number 6 in Division I versus Massillon Perry, number 4 in Division I. That's Saturday at 10. Same time that other game's going on. Mount Vernon, number 1 in Division I. So we got 3 number 1s. Out of the 4 divisions,
wow.
Number 1's going to be there. Taking on St. Joseph Academy, who's number 8 in Division I on Saturday at noon. Anthony Wayne, number 9 in Division I versus Warren Champion, number 1 in Division III on Saturday at 2. And then Amherst, number 7 in Division I, will take on Mount Vernon, number 1 in Division I on Saturday at 4. So we got 2 big local matchups there. Amherst is taking on the number 1 team in Division I. Keystone's taking on the number 1 team in Division III. It's going to be great softball for them. And we have other local teams too. Midview's taking on St. Joseph Academy, who we mentioned is number 8. We've got over on the Wellington side, at the Wellington site, you've got Columbia and Wellington both taking on Margaretta at different times on Saturday, and Margaretta's ranked number 6 in Division III. So there is a lot of great softball to be played this weekend, and WOL is going to have, besides the opener, Keystone versus Warren Champion.
Oh, I thought you were going to finish the sentence. No, we do have Keystone and Warren Champion. And then at noon, we'll have Amherst taking on Uniontown Lake. And then at 2 o'clock, it'll be Elyria High and North Canton Hoover. So, yes, WEOL, 10 o'clock, noon, and 2.
And North Canton Hoover just, I think, yesterday knocked off Massillon Perry, the defending state champion. And I believe, what I say, Massillon Perry is ranked 5 or something, number 4 in the state in Division I. So North Canton Hoover, obviously, how many times have we seen them at the state tournament against Elyria and this and that? They still have a great program, so they're going to come and they're going to be up there just as good as any of these other. And there's other Uniontown Lake. There's teams up there, Walsh Jesuit, who aren't maybe state ranked, but they probably should be or could be. So I'm telling you, you're just going to see some great softball this weekend in LaGrange and Wellington.
Yeah, head on down there. Again, if you can't get there, we're going to have it all covered on the radio station, at least the 3 games at LaGrange, starting with that Keystone Warren Champion game on Saturday morning. Well, we mentioned Elyria softball. We'll have their game Saturday afternoon on WEOL when they take on North Canton Hoover. And, of course, Elyria softball guided by their longtime head coach, Ken Fennick. So Ken's going to close things out with you on the in the dugout segment.
Yeah, the in the dugout segment. We kind of talked to Ken. He's a Hall of Fame coach, probably I believe the winningest coach in Lorain County. Has a wealth of information, of experience, and it's almost unfortunate. The in dugout segment we usually keep to about 2 minutes, and it's like I could have probably gone about 2 hours because Ken's got so much information to share and great stories, but we tried to condense it out, so you're going to enjoy this. This is a great interview with Ken Fennick.
All right, so that's coming up. In the meantime, this portion of Diamond Chat comes to an end. Sean, thanks to you. Thanks to Bruce Bishop. Biggest thanks goes to you, all of you who have been watching Diamond Chat. We appreciate it very much. So here comes Ken Fennick with Sean Bennett, and until we talk again next week, so long, everybody.
Okay, we're in the dugout with Elyria coach Ken Fennick. Just want to kind of jump right into some questions. Talk about your kind of career. Do you remember back? I mean, it's been a while, so do you remember kind of what got you into? What kind of got you fired up about being a coach?
Well, actually, I was actually a baseball coach, and I found the love of softball coaching JV for Sue Cohagen, and I just fell in love with the sport, the fast pace, the way it moves, nice and quick through, a game. The girls are very talented. I love working with the female athlete. So it's been a lot of fun.
There's been so many, you've had so many big wins. You're closing in on 600 wins as a coach. You had 3 state championships. It's probably hard to put even a top 10 memory together. But what are some of the best memories you remember from over the years here?
Well, obviously the state championships. There's nothing better than that feeling. But I do remember a lot of the ones that we finished runner-up in. That one year we lost 3 in a row, and then we bounced back that 4th year and finally won one. But I've had the pleasure of coaching so many just great young ladies, great women now that are successful beyond softball. It's just a wonderful job when people work to get better. They're persistent. They work as a group. I couldn't be happier.
I remember one year doing a kind of a story about you guys made it to the state tournament. You kind of turned the season around on the girls' toilet paper in the house or something like that. What are some of the crazy things like that you kind of remember, some of the fun off-the-field type moments?
Well, I remember one time they saran wrapped my truck. I couldn't get in. They do. Usually when we win a state championship, they usually come over and do the TPing of the house and signs and all that nonsense. But I don't mind picking up the tissue paper when we get a state championship. I'll do it one time every so often, I guess.
And you guys obviously, you've had so many good relationships with girls for over the years. But now you're actually getting to coach Molly, your daughter. How fun / challenging has that kind of been as a coach and a father?
It's an unbelievable experience. I know there's some coaches in the area that have coached their daughters. It's definitely different. I think a lot of times maybe I'm a little too hard on mine. I try to work with that. I'm not where I need to be on that yet. My daughter Molly, she does a great job improving, but sometimes I'm a little harder on her.
All right. Well, thanks, Ken, for the time, and good luck the rest of the season.
Okay, thank you.